welcome guys to another video. Now, in this video, we are going to deal with our friendly neighborhood towers. I made a few changes to it, and I'm kind of pleased with it because it's actually kind of easier to work with, and it makes it like we can have level 2 values, level 3, and it will change our values for fire rate and stuff like that all by itself, changing it up through an enum. Now this does mean that the values are not adjustable in the inspector, but it's not hard to adjust those values anyway because they're in a script. Go in there and you're going to be changing a script. Now, you're probably like, oh, I got to change code. It's hard. Trust me, it's not. We used to have these variables right here, okay, for fire time and stuff. Well, guess what? They are gone. Gone. Battery, gone. Need, gone. And we have a new little techie thing, okay? So let's discuss how we used to do it. Okay, how we done it was we went in the inspector, put fire time, and adjusted the variables there, which was okay for me. But most of the time, when you're in Unity, you actually see a lot of scripts, and you start looking at them and everything else. And I'm fine with that and everything, but the problem with it is I just don't freaking like that you really have to do well, how can I put this? That everybody's kind of afraid to use a little bit of scripting. A little bit of scripting can go a long way. Now this is the easiest way that you can do multiple ones without changing too much of the code. So we have this tech level that's in enum, right? And it is in enum. And we have tech values. Now, before we get into the other cool stuff and everything, let's just take this stuff off here and take damage. Now we have this protected virtual void here, which is called tech level, okay? And then we have a switch in here. Well, guess what? This switch is based on an integer. So whatever this integer is, it's going to change the tech values, okay? What is tech values anyway? You're probably thinking, what's tech value? It is a script, okay? And what the script does is it contains getter functions, okay? That's it. So we have this standard tech1, and look at these functions right here. Get turn speed, return 1. Get fire time, return 1. Get air amount, return 5. Get battery, return 5. Get need amount, return 1. Okay? Then you got, well, look, values. You get the idea here? So these are classes, but they're not public. They're not publicly accessible to only this right here. Because this class is not outside of the script, it will not be accessible to other stuff. Okay? You see how I got this get enemy here, and right below my function I started with these classes. These classes aren't accessible through other classes. Like, let's say, okay, we got standard tech 1 here. Alright, so let's go into another thing. Let's say base object right here. Very simple class and everything, and I wanted to start with stuff. So I'll go up here, I'll go public usually, right? Public standard tech level 1 tech, okay, and then there you go. But we get this error message, okay? And what this error is we cannot, this class doesn't exist. I can't do anything. It doesn't need a namespace or anything else. It's because it's inside the class. And what I mean by it is, you see how the class starts right here? And then we should have all our functions, and then the class ends. If you go below this class and go class, then this is a class. Okay? If we go over here and we want to make something, we'll go up here, and guess what? We've got TTT, and we don't have a thing for it, right? Oh, because I called it something else. Alright, well, crap. Okay, me. It knows it exists, okay? So I can use this here. But if I take this class and cut, and you see this function, I put it right below the function, okay? And it's still inside this base class. Well, guess what? This doesn't highlight or anything else. It doesn't exist outside of this base object. But if we go to base object and go time this me, look, works just fine. And that's all I done with the tower stuff. I made a script inside of the class of another class to hold information about this specific object. So when we go into tech, this tech value, all it really is this right here. It's a script that will return values to the turn. Get 1, get 2, get 3, and stuff. So all I gotta do is, if it's standard, and I put a 1 on the end. So if it's level 1 and I think the turn speed's too slow, well, guess what? I can go 0.5 F. Bam. It'll return the float right there. It doesn't intimidate me to go in here and change a simple value like this. Yes, it's kind of hard-coded and stuff like that, and some people frown upon it, but it's either this or use an XML file, which I don't want to use an XML file because then I have to have a file for each individual state and each individual thing, and that's kind of dumb. And two, I don't want certain things to be floating around at all, because really, in all honesty, this isn't in memory. This is a simple get function. This is easy as crap on the game. So if it's level 1, level 2, we just keep it. And this default case is what I'm going to use for nothing. It's broken, or I can just use why isn't it giving me access to that? I'm inside the class. Oh, my autocomplete's broken. That's why. Man, that's inconvenient. That is very inconvenient. Well, in any case, we'll just... Shh! Don't tell no one. But that's how we're instantiating our variables. Well, it's what we're using for variables. Okay? This spawn stuff and thing, that's not changed. This is just a simple enum. Take a peeky. Okay? Alright? An enum. Actually, let's look at the class for tech anyway. Come on. Let me go. Alright, here we go. So we got the enum here, and it's just like any other. I put this in a namespace, TechWorks. It's serializable. I don't know why, because it doesn't have any, but I left it that way. And we just got virtual functions for all the variables that we don't want the stupid crap in the inspector and stuff. You know, like fire time and all that. I have this fire time is because it's a counter. Okay? We count down this one. And then we call it. So for instance, right here. Alright. This is actually the function that you'll be calling to do stuff. But anyway, let's go into update here. See how we get this? If it's below 0, if it's above 0, we count it by fixed delta time. And then, you know, here's our fire time, helper.getAmount. This, see this tech values.get air amount? This is designed specifically just as a get function. It's on the script that we just saw. This is one of the functions. So it'll return the air amount for us. The fire time, it'll set the fire time. The cap, get need. Okay? How much power does this use? Does it use less? Does it use more? All that stuff. This is the pooler, which we've already talked about. And then cap.powermanager.get tech level.get battery. Get battery is easy. All that does is return, well, in the base class it returns 0. Like it doesn't need anything. But, as you know, we instantiate a new script to replace that. We overwrite it. And it will be, where is my tech level? Oh, right here. In the start function, we'll call this, and it goes tech level 1 equals target values standard tech 1. And like I said, standard tech 1 overwrites all the values, and we'll just be using this. So it'll take 5 on level 1. But at level 2, battery could take 10. But the need amount doesn't need to have that much. So we'll put 0.5. Okay? So it takes half the energy, but requires more energy. So it initially lasts longer. Right? So it's not as big as a power drain. And this is the second level to it. I hope you're starting to see what I'm getting at. Okay? So fire time, and we times it by 2. So this will try to get, you know, it'll cycle and stuff. This is also a null. Oh yeah, because we're using this to get the pool, point it to there, and boom, there we go. Yeah, very easy. And I don't think there's anything else that I actually have to look at with you guys. This virtual void thing right here, this, if you inherit from this turn class, you can still overwrite this. This is just privately owned by this class. That's all. Okay. And if you're thinking, if I inherit this, do I not have access to these? No, you still have access to these. These will still be accessible if you inherit from this class. Okay. But if it's the second prefab of it and you inherit from this class, you probably need to make different classes for this. And that's easy. All you do is take this class, copy it, okay? And we have 3 here. Well, I want max, okay? So what I'm going to do is go in here, see this standard tech. Well, we're going to call this standard tech max, okay? And standard tech max, we're going to go up to switch statement. If we have no more levels, like 1, 2, 3, remember my enum had a max? Well, guess what? We are going to go over here. I'm going to copy, crap. Copy this in here. If these states never happen, it will fall back on this one. So we'll go max, right? And this will give us another state. And that's easy. And this is a small switch. So it's very, very, very fast. Okay? Very, very fast. No reason to be worried about performance and stuff. And two, this doesn't get called more than once. Unless you make, a function to change this stuff. Which can happen. So, which you got a public setter here. If you set this thing, it will call the text stuff. But you don't have to worry about getting out of range or anything else. That's why I chose a switch statement. Because if your enum goes to like tech level.max, it'll just go to default. Doesn't matter how many things I put in the enum state. Like, let's give an example of it. Tech level, okay? We're going to go to tech level thing here, okay? We're going to do level 4. Okay, and you're like, well, I've got one thing that has infinite amounts of, well, let's say it has 100 levels. Well, just make them. Doesn't matter. Because this gets parsed as an integer. And then in our tech thing, even though this enum is higher, when we call tech.value, I can't just skip to it. That's dumb. When we pass this integer, it's just, if we don't have the case for it, it's automatically going to go to this. And this isn't permanent. You can override this in another class. Okay? It's very easy. Just inherit from this class, overwrite this function, and then pass in whatever class you designed for levels, hit, mining, shooting, or whatever you've got going on there. And bam, there you go. That's It's good stuff. It's all done, over with, and there you go. You know, but hey, I mean, you don't have to like take my word for it. Go play with the idea, okay? And then go look at the video again and try to duplicate it and see if you like it better. Because like I said, I'd rather do this right here than write a whole system for XML or binary, and then guess what? Well, then I still have to have the values around. Well, when I do this, I have just a container object doing this. And you're like, well, you could have did this with a scriptable object. Yeah, but the problem is, if I did this with a scriptable object, I have to keep track of all these objects, and then I can mix them up and do all kinds of other stuff, like, no. Then I also have to build the scriptable objects, which they take a certain amount of memory. By default, I think it's like 5K. So if you're hurting for like memory and you want to cut down some of your variables, you probably want to do this, because it'll be a very low blueprint, a footprint. But that's just my view on it. If you guys don't agree with it, then do something else. Put the variables back. It's your game. Design it how you want. And like in the beginning of the video, you see the variables that I deleted. If you don't like this type of system, then just put the variables back and put it in the inspector. It doesn't matter. You're the developer. You remember what you like and you do it. Okay? Because it's nothing for me to go turn speed. Well, guess what? I want to use turn speed. So you go up here, put public turn speed. And guess what? Turn speed was a float, right? So float. And then you just go down here and, where the turn speed was. Where was I doing that? Enable cost. Oh, it was targeting. Instead of calling the function from target values dot turn speed, you just put turn speed. You go here and you just replace it. Well, you already got an example right here. This is what it used to be. This is what it... Man, quit moving. Jeezy. You sensitive little... you just swap it. But that's all in you guys' little ordeal. The upgrade system that I'm going to be doing next will probably be more difficult that way, but to each his own. But this video has gone by long enough. I hope you guys liked it and stuff. But if you guys don't, then there's the dislike button. But like, hit subscribe, and thanks guys for watching. This is Wardon over and out.